After our I-Team reports on an illness affecting children, possibly linked to COVID-19. But schools closed, classroom doors in Connecticut won't open again this school year. The challenges and questions that remain tonight. Keeping the subway safe, an exclusive look at how the NYPD is protecting your commute as we head for an historic overnight show.
Yeah, the unknown pensioners.
Joining us tonight, I'm Natalie Pascarella.
And I'm Chuck Scarborough. All the major indicators in New York, the epicenter, continue to head in the right direction tonight, and that is down. Total hospitalizations are now at their lowest level since March 30th, but lives are still being lost. 230 New Yorkers were added to the devastating statewide death toll, which inches closer now to 20,000. In New York City, the virus is causing an unprecedented change in transportation. In less than 7 hours, starting at 1 a.m., the subway system was
20,000 deaths in New York, and the liberals tout Cuomo as their new hero icon. Could you imagine that?
The city reports a slight uptick in positive cases, but hospital and ICU admissions are down. 140,000 healthcare workers and first responders are going to be tested for antibodies beginning Monday. Hundreds of new workers have been trained to take 311 calls. The service saw a daily 522 with confirmed cases.
30,000 deaths in Libtardia, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, because they do things so good, right? These are the sanctuary states. These are the sanctuary states run by guys like Cuomo, who told people like us, get out of New York. That's what he said to Republicans. And if you're a white Christian male, get out today. Right? Because he wanted to bring 1 million Muslims to New York. He wanted more disparate voices and cultures. Imagine this Sfachim, Mr. Goombats, who wants to tell us all about Sunday dinner with spaghetti and meatballs. Right? Like he can't patronize people enough. Now he has his daughters sitting on his daily Last Supper panel to remind us that he's one of us. You know, Mr. Mansions, Mr. Boats and cars everywhere. Yeah, this is Governor Goombats. All right? These people are psychopaths. If I was governor and 20,000 people died on my watch, I'd run for the hills. But not this guy. He gets out every day and does his little communicative banter with his lame sense of humor, mocking his own bad jokes. Do you people think this is something to be joking about, number one? I don't know. Imagine if Trump got up there and talked about having family dinners. Could you imagine what they would do to Trump? You know, it's beyond absurd. This is really what these people are all about. So they wanted to turn these liberal states into sanctuary states. Illegal, undocumented people. Do you think they bring these diseases here? I don't know. What do you think? And this isn't racism. Because I watched this thing on Chinese people in Chinatown yesterday. It was sad that they're being abused. One of the excerpts showed a big black guy on a subway train. I mean, the guy was huge. Spraying a little Chinese woman with Lysol or a little Chinese man with Lysol. Now, if a white guy did that, the endless cracker racism KKK talk wouldn't end. And I'm not picking on this guy because he was black, but I mean, you'd think the black guy would have been more sensitive to that kind of idiocy. Which is why I'm so down on humanity. There's no hope. The only reason why I believe in God is because when I look at people, I go, oh my God, there's no hope. But I'll tell you what I really have no hope in is the illogic of lefties. You only have a finite amount of resources, and now they're finding that out. They're finding it out as the state is approaching a $100 billion debt. And what's the modality to Mr. Cuomo? Mooch more money off of other taxpayers. It's like a guy that has a small house and 15 children, and he doesn't have enough money to buy a pot to you-know-what in, and he's buying expensive cars and boats. And Talks about how he wants to bring in more children. And he can't afford 1/5 of what he's raising now. I mean, this is a mental infirmia. And these people are never called out. So they whine and the media whines on their behalf. So you got bloated cops' pay and bloated bureaucracies. I mean, little county where I grew up, they have a superintendent for every small school. They can't consolidate and streamline this stuff. They have, in Rockland County, I don't know how many police forces where I grew up. Suffern, Spring Valley, Ramapo, Orangetown, Clarkstown, Haverstraw. That's not enough. We got to have the Sheriff's Patrol. Oh, that's not enough. Then we have to have state troopers on top of them. We need some Luftwaffe and Waffen-SS. How about some Einsatzgruppen? Right? Because we don't have enough. Und Ihre Papiere bitte. Where is your papers? Möchten Sie mit mir kommen? That's where we're going. Wear your mask. Where are your gloves? Fingerhut. And a Hof. That's where we've gone because of liberals. In the name of liberty, they take away your liberty. What about liberalism evokes liberty today? It's like a Jewish mother-in-law writes their rules. You can't do this, you can't have that, you can't go here. That's an old Jewish comedian used to say that. He used to talk about that, about all these horror movies. Don't go in the basement, don't go there, don't go there. It was very funny. And that's what's running the body politic, especially in the Northeast and California. Fear and tyranny. The only thing they have to fear is fear itself. The only thing they have is fear itself. The second revolution is about to commence. And this is a message to Chucky Schumer 6 ways from Sunday. Hey, Chucky, you sown the wind. The whirlwind is coming, pal. The lowest learners, we're not forgetting. The Mark Schulmans, we're not forgetting. The McCabe's, the Comeys, the Brennans, we're not forgetting. We're not going away. And if you're pinning your hopes on salvation from this next election, you have no idea the anger you have wrought, the treason that you have put down on the heads of this nation. Well, there's too many guys like me. We ain't giving it up. We're coming like a freight train. I'm being a good guy to tell you. You got hell coming.